Hey guys, what's up? Doing another live video here this afternoon, simply because I have to, because I told my team that I would, so I'm forcing myself to be accountable, which is something that should not be discounted, by the way. Group accountability is an awesome thing. It's very powerful. We talked about goals last time I was on here. We talked about it on our last conference call, and goals are great, and writing goals down, is always helpful, but telling those goals to a group of people and telling a group of people that you're going to do something, then it's like, oh shit, I actually said I was going to do that. Now I have to actually do that. Hey, Shelly, what's up? See, I told you I'd do a live. You guys doubted me. I'm just kidding. Group accountability, anyway, big thing. I see a lot of it on Facebook, and thank you, wife. I love my puzzle hat. I think it's awesome. I see a lot of group accountability on Facebook too, and I see a lot of times people kind of criticizing it. I don't think they realize that's what people are doing, is trying to hold themselves accountable. You see somebody go on there and talk about, I'm going to make this change with my diet, or I'm going to get a new job, or I'm done with this, I'm going to stop being negative. And people are like, I've seen them say that like 10 times. Be supportive, man. Come on. Most of the time, they're doing that for themselves because they need to hold themselves accountable. Pat them on the back and tell them go get it. That's something I certainly need to work on. Dad Lockard, if you're watching, I apologize. I stink at that. My dad's been smoking cigarettes for about 80 years or so now, and he's tried to quit about 20 times, and it's gotten to a point where you hear it and you're like, okay, yeah. But I realize he's probably just saying it to hold himself accountable with me, with his children, so Dad, I promise I'll be some more supportive when you tell me you're going to quit smoking, even though you're never going to quit smoking. What I really wanted to talk about today is change. We talked about the goals last week, and change is something that as human beings we struggle with mightily. And really, I had no idea what I was going to do this live about. And I just got back from a jog. That's why I got my gear on and my lovely hat that my wife Christina was mentioning, and my Ohio State shirt as we prepare our run to the national championship here. If there's any Michigan fans out there, I'm really sorry that you're a Michigan fan. That stinks. But anyway, I just got back from a jog. And it's just 2 miles around the block a few times. And for most people, it's, okay, so what? Well, if 5 years ago Joe was standing right here and I told him that I just got done running a couple miles around the block a few times when it's 35 degrees out, his jaw would have hit the floor. 5 years ago Joe was a pretty big meathead. I was all about 500-pound deadlifts and 4,000 calories a day and 5,000 calories a day if I was trying to put some weight on. The most cardio I was doing was pushing around a weighted sled or walking on a treadmill for 40 minutes. What's Andy saying? I have the heat on, man. Andy's telling me to turn the heat on. I'm a 72 degree guy. I think you don't switch over into the cheap dad, don't touch the thermostat mode until you're well into your 50s. So I'm not there yet. I keep it pretty hot in here. So anyway, I spent a lot of time kind of meat-heading it up, like I said, and not doing much cardio. Unfortunately, about 3 years ago, I found out that I have, 5 years ago, Joe was pretty cool. Thank you, wife. So it was 10 years ago, Joe, and 10 years ago, Christina. But as I was saying, I found out 3 years ago I have an enlarged ACL, which, in and of itself isn't too major unless it continues to grow, and down the road there can be issues. But, one of the only main restriction actually was no more heavy weightlifting. So it was like, well, shit. Okay, I spent the past 13 of my years of my life doing this. Now what the hell do I do? It leveled me pretty good. And it's been great overall. It's certainly a change I needed to make, and it's created a more balanced and healthier self, and saved my life, frankly. And my point here, though, is that it didn't happen overnight. I didn't just say, okay, that's fine. I guess this is who I am now. I'll just start running more, and I'll, eat salads and not try to be the largest human being that I can possibly be. It took time, and there was a lot of grieving and a lot of support from my wife and from my family. And I think that gets lost a lot when people are trying to make changes, especially when they're forced to make changes. And a lot of changes are forced, whether you realize it or not. It's kind of that expand by demand, where if you want to grow, if you want to make a positive change in your life, it's because you have to. You absolutely have to. And that's hard. And part of the reason it's hard is because you're saying goodbye to 5 years ago, Joe. You're saying goodbye to your former self. That person is dead, and death sucks. Death is hard, and it's okay to grieve that. And that's really my message here, is that it's okay to lick your wounds when you're making a change. And everyone has their own timeline, and it's certainly not something you should get stuck in. Obviously, you have to progress, but that's phase 2, man. You got to grieve. You got to say goodbye to 1 year ago yourself, 2 year ago yourself, whatever it may be, whatever you're trying to change and overcome, and make a positive movement in your life, and then move forward. Don't get stuck in it. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. Don't get stuck in that grieving period. That's not okay either. But take some time to grieve. Take some time to reevaluate. Do what you got to do. For me, it was a gradual thing, and it was leaning heavily on my family. It was getting into meditation, getting into Tai Chi, just finding other things. And now I have settled into where I still don't like running, but I get something out of it. I still stink at it. I ran a 5K in 33 minutes on Thanksgiving, and I was thrilled. I was pumped. I thought it was phenomenal. But now, it's something I can get better at. Like with lifting, it took time to get up to that 500-pound deadlift. Well, I'm going to progress now. I have a baseline with running. It's something that can challenge me, and it's something that I can substitute in for what I used to be. But my point is, again, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's okay to have a grieving period. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it's going to be for you. Empty out your checking and savings account and go take a pilgrimage somewhere and find yourself. But then when you come back, like I said, be deliberate. Make a conscious decision that, okay, that's over. That period's over. I'm done grieving. It's time to move forward. It's time for the new me. It's time to make a change. Along those same lines, here's something that we got into on our conference call. I know you love running, Shelly. I was going to mention you on here too, and I totally forgot. I knew you'd get on me for that. It's some sick people out there just love running, and I'll just never understand that. It's rewarding. I don't love it. But it's something we were talking about on our call today along these same lines is I don't know when it became okay to just shut down for 6 weeks. And I see this is big in the automotive industry where it's Thanksgiving. Okay, well, the year, let's just chill out for 6 weeks. And not just professionally, but personally, I see it too, and it blows my mind. We're having the best year that we've ever had as a company for 23 years. By a lot. It's not close. Phenomenal year. Everyone on our team has been exceptional, top to bottom. It's just been a great year. So, I mean, what do we get to Thanksgiving? It's like, okay, high five, everybody. All done. Good job. Let's pack it up. 2020. It's still going. We still have 3 weeks left. And if we just fumble the last 3 weeks and don't move forward and don't work on some of those goals that we had talked about 2 weeks ago and we discussed to each other to hold each other accountable, then it's all for naught. So we're starting on our goals now. We're not waiting all that New Year's resolution BS. I don't buy any of that. If you're going to make a change, make the change now. But, start it with saying goodbye to your old self and to the old version of yourself and the things that you used to do and the person that you used to be. And then go out and get it. Do what you got to do. And we talked about goals and we talked about hitting those roadmaps along the way and patting yourself on the back when you hit those and be kind to yourself. That's about it. I want to leave with a line from one of my favorite songs of all time. Christina Locker, this one's for you because you said that Blind Melon only has one good song, but Change, aptly named, is one of my favorite songs of theirs of all time. And the line from the late Brandon Hoon is, when life is hard, you have to change. And I'll just leave you guys with that. God bless all of you. Have a great weekend. And let's finish up 2019 strong here and just keep it going into 2020. Bye.